Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose. And Xbox just had their second event for the month of June, being the Xbox Bethesda Showcase Extended. For the most part, they primarily focused on giving more details for some of the games that they revealed a few days ago, but there was actually interesting new information here, including some more Xbox Game Pass game announcements. So yes, we'll go over all of that later on today, as well as the Capcom showcase where Resident Evil got some pretty major news. Of course, some other things were revealed here as well, but I think long-term Resident Evil fans in specific are absolutely going to love what they revealed here, so we'll go over all of that as well. To get things started off today, though, another presentation is actually set for June 23rd, this time from Focus Entertainment. Really a bit of a surprise showcase here, but I think fans will like this one because they are going to reveal the release date for A Plague Tale Requiem at this event. Now, this is one of the more highly anticipated Xbox Game Pass games that's set to release this year. And really, if you've played the first game, you'll kind of understand why. It was legitimately one of the better narrative-driven games that released last generation for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And the sequel here, I mean, it looks like it once again is going to have that emotionally driven story. It's also genuinely a fun game as well with its unique stealth-based gameplay. And the sequel, it does look like it's going to continue on with that. We saw that at the Xbox Bethesda showcase. It is shaping up very well, but they are looking to reveal more about this game on the 23rd, including its exact release date. So you might want to tune in for all of that. However, if you do miss it though, of course, I will keep you up to date. Now, Overwatch 2 also got some news today as they revealed when you'll be able to play it next, which is actually a little sooner than you might think. A new beta will go live on June 28th, just later this month, which does include the newest character being Junker Queen. And really, I mean, this is a character that we've kind of heard about for years now, but here we are. They finally revealed her in her entirety earlier this week, and later this month, you'll actually get the chance to play her yourself. However, the details on how signups for this beta works, that's still a bit of a mystery. They do have a live stream set for June 16th where apparently they're going to give us more information on how the signups actually work. So if you are an Overwatch fan and if you want to check out the newest character as soon as possible, you're definitely going to keep an eye on that live stream where they'll probably go into great detail on her entire kit and how she works. Ubisoft today also held their Assassin's Creed 15th anniversary celebration live stream. Yeah, their showcase is just all over the place right now. The Gamers Holiday is a very real thing, but as for Assassin's Creed, some big things are happening with that franchise currently. They did note that all of the mainline entries will receive some type of new free content over the summer, starting with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's actually a pretty nice announcement and will give fans plenty of reason to jump back into these games once again, including the classics such as the original trilogy. On top of that though, Valhalla will also be getting a second year of new content. This will include things like returning festivals, a Mastery Challenge Pack 2, an Armory update, and new tombs to explore as well. And this is alongside some other stuff that they have planned this year, such as the Forgotten Saga game mode. So if you do like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they do have a lot more planned for that game. But the most exciting announcement made here really was an announcement of an announcement. They did say that they're going to lift the curtain on the future of the Assassin's Creed franchise with a quote-unquote very special event. Now, they're not going into great detail on what exactly is going to be at this quote-unquote very special event, but from their wording, my bet would be that they're probably ramping up to unveil the next Assassin's Creed game here. Now, whether it'll be the next big title, a remake, or something smaller, I don't really know. But it being, again, a quote-unquote very special event, I imagine that a new game will be revealed here in some shape or form. Let's go ahead and talk about the Xbox Bethesda Extended Showcase, though, and some of its highlights. Really, for the most part, this event focused on previously announced games and just kind of went more in depth on what these games are. This wasn't really the most exciting showcase in the world if you were expecting just new announcements, but there were some interesting tidbits here, starting off with Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, you gotta love Xbox Game Pass, as they did announce a few new Game Pass games here, including the breakout PC hit Valheim. This is a game that we talked a lot about last year as it just absolutely blew up on Steam. Probably one of the biggest surprises of the year, and really since that point, fans have been asking about a console version, and well, here it is. It will be launching as an Xbox console exclusive and will release directly into Game Pass in early spring of 2023. I know I keep saying it, but that first half of 2023, I mean, it truly is stacked. I really don't know how everybody's going to keep up, but it's going to be a fun year, that's for sure. Now, however, though, if you also have PC Game Pass, Valheim will actually release into that service this fall. That does make sense with it already being available on PC. A couple of other Game Pass announcements made today, though, was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for you slasher horror fans out there, and then also Slime Rancher 2. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre has got another game launching exclusively on Xbox and will be available on Game Pass Day 1 sometime in 2023. As for Slime Rancher 2, though, I know a lot of people really like that first game, so this is actually a really nice inclusion here. It will release directly into Game Pass sometime this fall. So yeah, the roadmap for Game Pass just continues to look better and better, with the next 12 months just looking absolutely insane for subscribers out there. And that includes a game that's really caught my attention, being High on Life. This is a game that really stood out to me when they revealed it a few days ago at the Xbox Bethesda showcase because, first off, I think it looks unique. It also seems to be a very humorous game, and most importantly, it looks fun. But also because this is coming from Squanch Games and the co-creator of Rick and Morty. Now, I can't necessarily say that I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty or anything like that, but what I can say is that I am a fan of their game Trover Saves the Universe. It's genuinely a very funny game, which I think is very rare for games to pull off humor in a good way, and on top of that, it's also surprisingly just a good game in general. So I know for a fact that they can make good games, and that's what really stood out to me about High on Life. They did say today that it's their take on a AAA game, or in their words, a triple-I game, because it's an independent game. They did also say that it's a first-person shooter Metroidvania game, and as some of you all might know, I am a big fan of Metroidvanias. So this game is just checking all of the right boxes, from its art design, its genre, the pedigree of talent here, and I'm telling you all, don't be surprised if High on Life turns out to be a great game when it releases this October. Again, also directly into Xbox Game Pass. Now, Pete Hines was also there today, where he talked about various Bethesda games, including the much-anticipated Starfield, and I thought that one thing that he said was very interesting because some of the reactions that I've seen online over the last few days. And that was him kind of emphasizing the fans wanting that story-driven experience with handcrafted locations and planets. Starfield very much is that, but it's also going to have a lot to offer in terms of exploration if you want to go off the beaten path. In fact, Todd Howard today, he also confirmed that Starfield has more handcrafted content than any Bethesda game ever. And what that means for a game of just the sheer size of Starfield, which is just absolutely massive as we've seen, is that if you want that typical Bethesda experience with a set guided story path and intricate world design, you can absolutely do that. You're not forced to explore its 1,000+ planets. You do have that option, but in other words, you can kind of view the 1,000+ planets as side content. They're there if you want to explore them and just kind of have even more content for when you do finish its story. It's just this never-ending game that can live on for years and years if that's something that you truly want to do. And based on the Bethesda community and how games like Fallout 4 and Skyrim have just kind of lived on for such a long time, yeah, Starfield I imagine will as well, especially with all this extra content here. If you do want that more linear experience though, with handcrafted design and just a more focused story, you can do that as well. I really don't know why some people out there were kind of acting like Starfield was a completely procedurally generated game like something like No Man's Sky, when it clearly isn't with how its story is laid out. But there you have it, officially coming from Pete Hines as well as Todd Howard. Starfield is confirmed to have a lot of handcrafted content, and more or less, it's a Bethesda game that fans have come to know and expect. Now, one other big highlight that was here, though, that I'm briefly going to go over is Stalker 2. I'm not going to go too in-depth through this one, though, because I think that you should watch this one yourself. This was actually a really heartbreaking moment during the showcase as Sarah Bond, she got very emotional while talking about Stalker 2 and its Ukraine-based team. Really, this game is it just takes on a whole new meaning with its Ukraine and green culture, And the video that they showed of the team today and all that they've dealt with really highlighted that. Again, I highly encourage you all to watch that video yourself, but they did also unveil the beginning of Stalker 2. I'll just kind of simply say that it looks absolutely stunning, it looks atmospheric as you'd hope, and it just looks quite simply amazing. It is now officially set for a 2023 release, as we already expected, but if there was ever a game and a team that I'm really rooting for, it's GSC Game World. I do hope that Stalker 2 turns out to be a smashing hit, and based on what we've seen so far, I really think that it's got a chance. It does look absolutely stunning, but again, definitely go check out the full video that they posted today, including of the employees themselves. That there, though, was my main highlights coming away from the Xbox Bethesda Extended Showcase, though, but they did talk about plenty of other games here as well, including Redfall. They talked a little bit about Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76 The Pit, Naraka Blade Point was here, Ara History Untold, they talked a little bit about that one, Grounded was here, Flight Simulator the 40th Anniversary, got a little update on Pentiment As Dusk Falls, Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels gameplay was shown here, Master Chief is coming over to Fall Guys now, Minecraft Legends got a little bit of an update, and then they also showed an independent montage trailer as well. So if any of that interests you, definitely go check it out. Moving on though, Capcom had a jam-packed event as well. Even if there wasn't a bunch of brand new games revealed here per se, it was still very exciting, especially for you Resident Evil fans out there. We'll kind of get back to that here in just a moment, but Monster Hunter Sunbreak was here where they showed a new jungle-based area, its upcoming roadmap, which I'll actually include on screen here. And then the real good news is that a demo for its new expansion is available today on both the Nintendo Switch as well as PC. So instead of hearing me talk about it, you can actually just simply go download the demo right now for Monster Hunter Sunbreak as we head into its official release for later this month on June 30th. Now, Exoprimal also got a new gameplay update here as well, though I will say that this game isn't necessarily clicking with me per se. You know, I think that it looks like it could be fun, but it's basically a cooperative-driven style of game where you fight waves and waves of dinosaurs. I don't know, it just doesn't really look like my thing personally, but it is set to release in 2023. Dragon's Dogma was also here, well, kind of. It wasn't really here in a way that I was necessarily hoping that it would be. It again was more of an announcement of an announcement than anything else, because they do have a special event planned for its 10th anniversary on June 16th. As to what this video will actually include though, well, that remains to be seen. But maybe, just maybe, they'll finally confirm Dragon's Dogma 2 here. There's still just that small glimmer of hope that we'll get that confirmation on the 16th. I mean, there were those leaks that Capcom is working on a sequel after all. This is coming from the Capcom data breach back in 2020, and then with that NVIDIA GeForce leak as well. These are legitimate leaks that we're talking about, and with them just suddenly wanting to do this 10th anniversary event for Dragon's Dogma, so maybe something will happen here, but even if it doesn't, I'm still fairly confident that this game indeed is actually happening. It's just a matter of when it will be announced rather than if it will be announced. I mean, here recently, they're just giving this franchise so much attention, whether it be with this upcoming event. There's also that Netflix anime and everything, so I don't think that all of this is just simply some big coincidence. I do think that they're kind of gearing up for something. I don't know when that something will be. But I would still love to get that confirmation, hopefully at this 10th anniversary showcase event video type of thing. Again, that will be on the 16th. As for Resident Evil fans, though, you will have a lot to look forward to over the next year or so. Of course, you know, there's the Resident Evil 4 remake, and they did show some gameplay here, which includes Leon's face. He does look older and more mature in this game now, which I think will make fans very happy. But then, there were also a few surprises here as well. Resident Evil Village will finally be getting that DLC expansion on October 28th, and this not only includes a story expansion, Shadows of Rose, which I'm not going to talk about that for spoiler-related reasons, but it definitely looks intriguing with it being set after the events of Resident Evil Village. The big surprise here, though, was that you'll now be able to play Village in third person, much like the classics. So, if you do prefer Resident Evil 2 and the 3 remake, you'll now be able to play Resident Evil Village that way as well. And that is absolutely amazing that they're doing this. I know for myself, I do prefer third person. I know Resident Evil feels great in first person and everything, and in ways it can even be more immersive. But I do really enjoy third person, and I think long-term fans of Resident Evil are really going to like this inclusion. With them doing this, though, I kind of hope that maybe they continue in this direction going forward, allowing fans options on how they want to play these games, in first person or in third. And actually, speaking of the classics, Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake, as well as 7, are all going to be getting a free next generation upgrade. This includes 4K support, high frame rates, and ray tracing, all of which will be available for the Xbox Series, the PlayStation 5, and PC today. Yeah, that's right, you can actually upgrade these games right now. So there you have it. I do think that Capcom, they put together a pretty good showcase here, and it's not quite over just yet with that Dragon's Dogma video releasing on the 16th, but yeah, Capcom has been killing it here in recent years, and it looks like they're going to continue on with that this generation as well. Let's go take a look at the poll of the day, though, where I asked you all on whether or not you all think Xbox will revive Banjo-Kazooie this generation. Nate the Hate recently claimed that Xbox greenlit a new Banjo game, but I wanted to know if you all actually believe this. And as you can see here, half of you all believe this will happen this generation. 50% of you said yes, while 43% of you said no. So the results here are almost split, and really I can't blame anybody for necessarily being skeptical of a Banjo-Kazooie return. As a huge Banjo fan myself, I've always held on to hope that Banjo will eventually return. Whether that be with a remake or a completely new game, I don't really care. I just want to see Banjo make a comeback. But I'm also always kind of preparing myself for disappointment as well. I mean, the thing about Banjo-Kazooie is that it seems like almost every single year, a new rumor pops up claiming that this is the year that we'll see Banjo once again. Time and time again, though, it hasn't happened. But I am crossing my fingers that this one here is legit. If anything, Xbox, they do have more studios than ever before. They're also taking more chances than ever before, and Phil Spencer, he did publicly state that they want more family-friendly content, which Banjo very much fits into that category. On top of that, we've seen 3D platformers make a big return here in recent years, including some 90s remakes such as Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot. So I do think that now is the perfect time to bring Banjo-Kazooie back. So come on, Xbox, please, let's finally make this happen. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.